Hey everyone, I was asked a question recently on one of my videos in the comments section, and I thought it was such a good question that I decided to film a whole video around it. It may seem like a basic question, but I realized when I first started watching YouTube videos, there was a lot I didn't understand. There's still a lot I don't understand. But what you may feel is maybe a silly question, usually isn't. It's just so basic that maybe it's never been addressed, and it should be. So this question was, why do you use two different concealers? What's with that? Why can't you just use one all over? And it's a very valid question. Now, I'm not saying, of course, that you can't use one concealer for all of your issues, but I have found in my own trial and error that for me personally, two concealers, or sometimes more, work better for the various problem areas that I have on my face. There are two main reasons why I use a concealer. One is for the under eye area, and that is to lighten and brighten this area. I don't have bags or heavy under eye circles, but it still requires in my eyes some sort of lightening and brightening. And then the other reason is to conceal blemishes, either an active pimple on my face, which is less and less likely these days, thank God, or old red marks left behind from a blemish that's healed, to just redness, red patches, dark patches, just the things that happen on your face. And for that I use a completely different concealer. So let's start with under eye concealers. The skin under your eyes is thinner and more delicate. So there are a number of problems associated with that kind of skin. One, because it's so thin, it's translucent, so veins and things going on under the skin are more easily seen, which is why that bluish tinge makes you look like you have black circles under your eyes. And also because it's so thin, for me anyway, heavier, thicker, more solid foundations tend to cake up, and you see many more of the fine lines in this area than you would in other places. And because of the darkness that's associated with this area, the concealers that I use, and most tend to use there, not only hide the darkness with pigmentation, but they have a light reflective quality so that it seems brighter. So my favorite concealer for that, of course, is the Rimmel Match Perfection. And if you see, it even says here, it's a 2-in-1 concealer and highlighter. So it's much thinner. You don't have to use a lot of pressure to apply it, which is good because you don't want to use a lot of force on a delicate skin area. And that, for me, the best application is continuous patting, which is tedious, I will admit, but I'm gonna rub because this isn't my eye. But it does seem for me to get the best coverage and with the least amount of tugging at the skin, and seems to make the concealer stay better. So and it does have a bit of light reflective qualities to it. Now for blemishes, which for most people I would think of a certain age is a much more prevalent problem as you want to cover your blemishes, you want to use a heavier, thicker concealer, something that completely hides it so you appear flawless. And for that, it's usually some more solid form of concealer. Whether it's in a stick form like this, or it's in a pot like the MAC Studio Fix, or Bobbi Brown concealers are a little creamier, but they're still a lot heavier. I prefer the concealer pencil, the Urban Decay one specifically. Tarte makes one as well. It's a creamy finish or consistency, but it's still very pliable and easy to work with. And for that, I would just, I don't have a real blemish here, but I would just dot it on, I literally draw it on. And then that patting procedure tends to work the best, and then you pat, pat, pat. And these kind of concealers that you use on blemishes are much more highly pigmented, and they serve to hide what's going on underneath your, hide the skin, hide what's going on underneath the concealer. And you don't want light reflective properties because that's like a big beacon going, hey, check this out on the side of my face. No, you don't want that. So that, while it seems kind of basic, and maybe a lot of you already know that, maybe hopefully some of you didn't, and this would be helpful. And I certainly didn't know that until fairly recently myself. I did for a long time use the same concealer under my eyes and on the rest of my face, and now I don't. So That's it. Thanks for asking. If you have any other kind of questions that you want me to make a quick little video on, I don't know how quick this was, but you know what I mean, put the questions below. If I know the answer, I will certainly be happy to make a video about it. And if I don't, I'll find someone who does and look up the answer for you. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.